For the third annual Gala Dinner, the Association of Zambians in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia will this year host the third annual Gala Dinner on August 24th, 2024. There will be lots of exciting entertainment and we're expecting high-profile special guests. Be sure to stay glued to AZDMV Facebook page for more information. Save the date.
Hello and welcome to the show. It is Saturday, June 28th. We do thank you for joining us, and wherever you're watching us from, please make sure you tag a friend and let them know that ZB Tierra TV is live. Follow us on social media. That's our link there at ZB Tierra TV on Facebook, on YouTube. When you click on follow, on subscribe, make sure you also click on that notification note so that it will notify you whenever we go live. We're also on X, what used to be Twitter before somebody took over the show. So, well, today we have an exciting show for you. We are speaking about how to build generational wealth. And this is very important as we go about our life and living. We need to, the Bible tells us to leave an inheritance for our children, our children's children, okay? That is very important. So today, we have a very special guest. She is my sister, and we live in the same neighborhood or same city. We are honored and privileged to have Miss Joyce Changu Chibwe, who is a licensed financial professional. Miss Joyce, welcome to the show, and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, my brother. I like to call you Pastor Nkama because of your spiritual background. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
All right, so we are going to get started here and just hear what Miss Joyce has to share with us about planning and securing a future, not just for yourself, but for your children and for your children's children, and as it goes. As we begin this conversation, Miss Joyce, I think let's begin with it. Let's get this question out of the way. A lot of people are wary and don't trust anything to do with financial or wealth building because there are too many Ponzi schemes out there. What's your message to them?
Thank you so much. That's a very, very important question. I used to think the same way also until I got the financial education. And also I read books to avoid these Ponzi schemes or scams, you need to be vigilant. You need to read. And if there's anything most of our communities do not usually do, not all, but most, we do not read books. And a lot of information are embedded in books.
Yeah.
And therefore, I decided to become an independent contractor so that I can know the difference between a Ponzi scheme and something that is legit.
Okay.
So for me to clarify that in detail before we go on, I would like you to, just show a PowerPoint 1 and 2.
Okay.
That way, this is a teaching moment. It's not any other interview. And most of us need to see to believe. So the first thing that I decided to do was to ponder on this question. We live in one of the wealthiest countries in the world. We work so hard all our life, but we still remain poor. We do so much to raise kids just to see them finish college with lots of debt. Understanding how money works is part of taking care of our families. We all want a comfortable retirement, but yet have no plan. There's nobody more interested in your future than yourself. So understanding money, understanding how it works, understanding how to make it work for you is the reason why I got licensed and wanted to teach people so that we don't, get involved in these Ponzi schemes or scammers. Now, when I read and understood, I saw that you can give the power of choice to people. You can't force anyone, to invest, or anyone to make their future bright or just leave generation wealth for their families. But when you get licensed, you are trained to give the power of choice. Don't force people. And therefore, we are partnered with these companies that you see on the screen.
Okay.
Those that are seeing it, for those that are listening, I'll just mention a few. We are partnered with Pacific Life, Prudential, Voya, Transamerica, Nationwide is on your side. These are 500 Fortune companies in the United States that we deal with. Therefore, we clarify, that, notion of Ponzi scheme.
Yes.
So this is how I explain, this is how I teach people so that they can understand that these companies, which most of us use, we either with our mortgages or we are using them for car insurance, and those are the companies we partner with.
Yes.
So it gives someone, a trust, because these companies have been there, some of them over 100 years. They've stood the test of time.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay. So that's very important for people to understand which companies are offering this so-called whatever scheme that you are getting into. It's important to understand the companies you're dealing with, right?
Sure.
Okay. You are a licensed financial professional. What's the significance of the component of being licensed? We are trying to build this point of when people are dealing with people are trying to get them into these pyramid schemes and all these things. What's the significance of you presenting anything to do with wealth to be licensed?
Absolutely. That's a wonderful question. The license that we obtain which, is a life agent, a license that is given by the Department of Insurance in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It is highly regulated.
Okay.
First, you have to go through training. After a background check, then you have to go through fingerprints just to make sure that you didn't con anyone and you are in good standing. Okay.
So they do all that fingerprinting and everything?
They do fingerprinting. There's many more. Before you are even allowed to sit for that state exam, you also have to have what we call anti-money laundering certification.
Okay. Could you explain what that is?
Yeah. Also, you need to have what we call errors and omissions. You have to have a liability insurance. Just in case you are sued, you have to protect yourself. In short, this is more or less like, I think people are even wondering, why is she doing financial education when she has a background of nursing?
Yes.
Yes, when you are in the nursing field or medical field, that's what prompted me also to, change a little bit and be financially educated, because I've seen how many patients, after they are sick, they go home, they don't have anything. You are laid off from your job, you don't have anything. So I said, from the nursing background, let me move from healthcare to wealth care.
Wow.
See how you can still continue your daily lifestyle, even when you are not at work, even when you are sick. So in short, this license, it's not like any other license. It's just like a nursing license. You can go to school, become a nurse, but not until you sit for that state exam. You cannot practice. It's the same with this state license, that I got. So it gives also the clients out there the ability to trust you because you are licensed.
Yeah.
Ponzi schemes, I've been involved in one of those where somebody scammed me. Someone comes and says, let's put this money together. Within 2 weeks or so, you get so much money. There's nothing fast in money making. So that's the reason why, we are licensed. And also, most importantly, we keep clients' information very confidential. HIPAA.
Okay.
You cannot share information with another person.
So even in this business, the HIPAA rules apply, just like in the health sector.
Correct. 100%.
Very important. Very important. Okay. What are the portfolios used by successful people, Miss Joyce? How do they make money?
You've heard politicians, we are going to have elections soon here.
Yes.
And the politicians, whether outside the country or within the United States, everyone is talking about taxes.
Yes.
That the rich don't pay taxes as much as the middle class. And therefore, in this training of being a financial contractor, you tend to know how the elite keep their money and what portfolios they use. I'll give you 10 points. Out of those 10 points, I got them from a well-known man called Warren Buffett.
Okay.
That's what is important to read about books. Warren Buffett, everyone knows him. He's one of the richest men in the world. He says that rule number 1, make money but never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1.
Okay.
So meaning Rule number 1 is very important. We all make money, but do we want to lose it? No, we don't want to. But do we lose it? Yes. How do we lose the money that we make? Most of us just see what we make at the end of the year when you see that W-2. But what is in the bank is almost nothing. It's not witchcraft. It's because we don't know what successful people, use to keep their money and build that wealth for at least 3 generations along the line. Therefore, rule number 3, Warren Buffett says, you need not pay anyone to manage your money.
Oh, really?
That is important. You don't need someone in between to manage your money. You can manage your own money. So you can avoid those management fees. Then inflation is one of the topmost. That's rule number 4. Every time you are making your money, you need to think of inflation. Inflation is always there. But your money should always be either equal to the inflation so that you have power with that money. Avoid double taxation. Most of us, we get our paycheck, which is already, taxed. Then you put it in an account where at the end of the year, they will send you a letter saying that this is how much interest you got from your money, and this is how much it's going to be taxed. You need to report it to IRS because you've made interest on the money that was already taxed when you got it. You need to avoid that. Your money should be liquid. It should be flexible. You should be able to access your money anytime. If you are managing it, no one will tell you that the bank is closed. It only opens at 9:30. Not only that, you put your money in a CD or 401k, and they will tell you you can't withdraw your 401k until you are 59 and a half. That shouldn't be the case. The most other important thing the successful people do, they put their money in buckets where it grows compound interest. What do I mean with that? Most of us, we put our monies where it grows just simple interest.
Yeah,
but compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. Yes, it's the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it ends it. He who doesn't pays it. And most of us, we pay it, either in mortgages, car loans, or credit cards. Don't you wonder when you sign, those papers, you are buying a house, for example, they'll say your house is 200,000 and you pay it off in 30 years. And you're so happy that, okay, I'll just be paying maybe $2,000 a month. But in 30 years, when you calculate that money, you would have bought that house 3 times. That is compound interest.
Wow.
So you should know where to put your money that will grow at compound interest so that you build generation wealth for your own children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Critical illness. I wouldn't leave this one out, my brother. Critical illness and chronic illness is #1 cause of poverty and bankruptcy in this country. We've seen it in our communities. When someone is sick, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When you get sick and you are not able to work, you lose everything that you've saved, and now we start going GoFundMe. I'm not saying GoFundMe is bad in our communities, families. We should help one another, but we should not rely on a GoFundMe to support you when you are not well enough to generate more income.
Even then, Miss Joyce, how long is a donation or contributions made by people going to last?
Exactly.
Are you going to make people contribute 15, 20 times? They can only do it once.
Absolutely.
And what happens after that?
What happens after that when you are sick now, it's not the sickness that kills you. It's the worry. The worry when someone knocks at the door and say, "Madam, you haven't been paying your mortgage, therefore you're taking this house." It's the worry that your car outside that you've been paying has been repossessed. It's a worry of saying, what next? So therefore, I said, you know what? I'll be a crusader to go out there, teach those that can be teachable, coach those that can be coachable about how to avoid that.
Okay. Let's move to another important question or point here. It's one thing, you've already touched on this. It's one thing to make money. It's totally another thing to grow, but how do you grow the money? What does it really mean to grow money, Ms. Joyce?
Yes, growing money is like planting a seed. You need to find good soil. Even the Bible says it. You need to find good soil where to plant that seed.
Yes.
It's the same with money. You get paid. Where do you put that money? Is it under the mattress? Can it grow like that? Do you put it in a checking account, savings account? Does it grow like that? So you need to choose a bucket.
Okay.
Which can help you grow that money. And I'll show you a slide, how money grows here in the United States. There are only 3 ways in which you can grow your money: either fixed, variable, or indexed. What do I mean by fixed? I already touched on the savings and checking account. You can see it's a straight line. You put in 100,000 in a savings account this year. Next year, this time, you have probably, if you are lucky, maybe 50 cents or points, or maybe 86 cents. Because it's fixed. Nothing grows more than 0.1% in the savings or checking. So it's like a straight line, even in the hospital. Some of us who are in the medical field, when you see a straight line on a patient's machine, you start panicking. You know the patient is dying. And that's what most of us do. Our monies are put there and it's dying. Variable, yes. A lot of us put our 401k in there, our stocks, Bitcoin, we throw it in the variable. Why am I saying it has up and down like an EKG machine? It's because today you go to work, the stocks are high up there and you're happy. By the time you get back home at 5 o'clock, whatever time, the stocks are down. Why? It's because that money is dependent on the stock market. So it goes up and down, up and down. Indexed. This is one of the wonders of the world. You can see it as a padlock. Whether there's inflation, it locks your money wherever it is. It has a cap and a floor. So you never lose to go to the line at the bottom. So choose where you put your money so that it can grow for you and for your generations to come. And then, this is part of it. What account do you have that grows tax-free? I touched a little bit on taxes. There are these accounts that grow tax-free. The codes are 7702, which is the IUL. And I will talk much on the IUL because this is where most of us don't know or didn't know about it. Or if we do, we don't have that much education to understand about the secrets of the 7702 which is Index Universal Life. Roth IRA, yes, it's one of those, and municipal bonds RIA. The next slide also show us the tax codes that you can use to plan for your retirement. And those are some of the tax codes. But then these are the common ones that we use, which grows up and down. Is it okay? I would say no. After I got my education, I don't think these codes are the right ones, because I do not want to lose money when I make it. So you make money and you lose in these tax codes, which the majority of us use. So some tax codes that are used by a few, which you find that your money will grow like these stairways, which have padlocks. Long-term care. We have seen patients that pay caregivers. And it's not cheap to be sick in this country, and then you have a caregiver coming to take care of you. We wonder, wow, what were they doing when they were working? They will tell you, maybe I was just a nurse or a teacher, an IT, an engineer. But then there's all this money that they're paying 2-3 caregivers that are coming to see them. It's because they used some of these tax codes for long-term care. And the money now is working for them. So we can go in details later on, about all these tax codes and how we can shift our minds to understand them. Also, our children, it's a vicious circle, so to speak, my brother. It becomes a vicious circle. When you come into this country, if you're an immigrant, the first place you touched, whoever you associated with, if they are in the medical field, they will tell you become a nurse.
There's more money. There's more money there.
Yes. If it's IT, they say become an IT. And once you become a nurse, then you say, no, I want to be a nurse practitioner. You get more loans to go to school. It's not cheap. From there, no, nursing, okay, nurse practitioner, I'm not making enough. Let me do something a little bit. I want to be a doctor. It goes on and on. By the time you start having children, the children follow suit. They also have, school loans. You still have school loans. I remember former President Obama saying that, him and the wife only finished, I think, paying their school loans when he was in the White House.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's how bad it can be. So the question is, what account do you use, so that your children cannot have that, school loan like you did? There are some college funds, of course. So these are different college funds, like, the 529, that grows in stocks too. And this one, if you got it in the state of Texas, some places, they will not allow you to use it in the state of Minnesota. It has to be used in the
within
state.
Texas, where you got it.
Exactly, where you got it. So is it a good college fund for your child? No. But if you use 7702, the indexed one, you can even go anywhere within the 50 states, even outside the country. Your child can pay for the college without penalized.
Wow.
Also, probate court system in this country. Whether you are dead, the bills still follow you. Whether you are alive, you don't work, you still get a phone call that you need to pay.
Explain probate.
Probate is a system in this country where when one passes away, if it's in the hospital or anywhere, there is an 800 number that is called. Your social security is entered. it's reported everywhere that this person has passed away.
Okay.
What happened with that information is a red flag. It goes, to the government. And then they freeze most of the accounts that you may have had.
Okay.
But there are some accounts that bypasses probate court. They can never be frozen. So once those accounts that are frozen by the probate court system, they are done paying off everyone that you owe. If it's a house, it's a car, it's a credit card, whatever remains, the family members or your beneficiaries are called to the court. And they are saying, your mother, dad, or uncle, whoever, had 500,000 in this account, but we paid off the house, we paid off the car, we paid off credit cards. Now what has remained, in some cases, is very little money, maybe even $5. That's what they give the beneficiaries.
Wow.
That's what probate does. And many of us don't know. So we educate families how you can have accounts that will bypass probate when you pass away. I already said that, the number one cause of misery in this country is the probate court too, because you are wiped off of everything that you worked for. Also, medical, bills. GoFundMe. We see a lot of GoFundMe for people, for families, friends to contribute toward medical. Memorial services, we do that a lot. Emergency funds, we ask people to help us. Non-profit, we do that. Even students, when they don't have money to pay for their tuition, they tend to go to GoFundMe. How do we stop that? How do we reach out to our communities to tell them that there's a better way? And these are the accounts that are in green that bypasses the probate court. Okay. And these are, annuities and life insurance, not any other life insurance that we talk about. Because when someone talks to you about life insurance, the first thing that comes to your mind is death.
Of course.
It's death.
And no African is going to do that.
No, we don't do life insurances. We don't do right wills. We don't do trusts because we only think, I was sure and I laugh.
And my relatives will eat the money.
And my relatives will eat the money and my children will remain with nothing. So whatever happens when I'm dead, it's up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to them, So there's so many other, I already talked about the index that avoids probate, which is the IUL, which is embedded in this index account. So what the elite did, they put the umbrella of insurance, but inside that insurance, there's this indexed account. And most people don't know about it. It's because when someone talks about insurance, I have term policy already. No, I have whole life already, In this country, in 2021, we had like 795,000 people with stroke.
Wow.
Heart attacks were about 805,000. Cancer, 1.7 million. Can you imagine if you are diagnosed with cancer today and you start your chemo? Do you get, after that treatment, go back to work? No. You are so weak that you can't even continue going to work. But during that time, what do you do with your bills? So what account do you have to replace your income if you fall sick and you could not work? You need to have income protection. I give myself as an example. I had surgery. If you remember, my brother, I had surgery 2 years ago. I almost lost my house, lost my car. First thing, what I thought, oh no, I get this later. For the first time being in America for 25 years, I'm going to lose, my power. They were threatening to shut my power down, my water bill. Why? It's because I stayed long to recover and I used all my savings after my vacation time was over. Got my job. They said we'll give you short-term disability, which is only 60% of your pay. If you cannot survive on 100% pay, how about 60%? So today, if you are diagnosed with heart attack, stroke, cancer, end-stage renal failure, ALS, major organ transplant, blindness, paralysis, the list goes on and on. Life insurance with living benefits will take care of you. I'm a living testimony. It will take care of you. What the wealth don't tell us about life insurance, they don't just use it to bury their loved ones like we think, but they also use it to create tax-free wealth. Tax-free wealth. Also, I was talking about books. This book, Money, Wealth, Life Insurance, when I started reading it, it was mind-blowing. I didn't realize even banks have life insurance. They put their money in life insurance. I was saying, what? No wonder. When we go to the bank, there are not so many people there. Imagine you put your money, whether it's 100,000 or 50,000 in the account, they give you a 0.1% in your savings or 2%, but themselves, they put it in this life insurance to get compound interest on you.
Yeah. Yes.
So brothers and sisters, let's read and understand these things for ourselves. It's really, really important to understand.
So after all is said and done, Miss Joyce, what steps should I take to find myself in a situation where I'm adequately covered, or I take care of business as it should be done, where if I get sick, if something happens to me, a lot of things that you have addressed here can happen, and they are happening. Like you are saying, we are seeing so many GoFund. It's mind-blowing, that figure that has been put there. 10,000 GoFundMe are created every day. Tell our audience what steps they need to take.
The steps one needs to take is get in contact with a licensed financial professional. That's step number one. Then you get all your answers, all your questions answered. We'll show you where to put your money in the right buckets. We'll also educate you how to start even early. These IUL insurance, you can actually get an insurance for your child, newborn child, who is 15 days old. If you start early, the finish line is better. If you start late like me, you still have a chance, but you may not have enough because most of your money has been taxed already, but you may not have enough gas to take you to the finish line. But there is a plan for everybody. It just depends on your pocket. It just depends on how much you are willing, to put in these accounts to grow for you and for your children. Step number 2. Once you get in contact with a financial professional like me, there are rules to follow. IUL is not for everyone. They will check, of course, your background. They will check your residency status.
Okay.
A long time ago, it used to be just if you're an American citizen, for you to have this kind of an account.
Okay.
But now it has opened. As long as you have a tax ID, you have a social security card, and you've been in this country, some of those companies I showed you, they'll say 1 or 2 years in this country. You qualify for these accounts. So
that's very important information.
Correct.
Very, very important. Yeah.
Correct. It fits all, unless maybe you have a felony, even driving record, they check. But I'm not saying if you have a driving record, you can be denied. It just depends when you had it and if at all you paid off all your tickets. Okay. So they check all those things. So they are very strict, but it's worthwhile. Having checking it and doing all that, it's free. You don't pay anything.
Okay.
It's free. So just get hold of me. My number is showing on the screen. I'll give you more information so that we can get together and we can tailor what fits your pocket. Let's not procrastinate any further. And also this wealth that you build here in diaspora.
Yes.
It can help you build back home. Most of us, we have done that. We have developed back home, whether in Zambia, Ghana, Nigeria. But suppose you get sick before you go to your destination country where you want to retire. What happens then? So you need to balance your scale. You need to be comfortable here. You need to be comfortable at home if you intend to retire there. Also, the children that we brought here when they were young, that were born here from the African families or parents, you think they'll go back home? Maybe yes, maybe not. But let's teach them the right way of making money, growing money, protecting money, so that they don't end up like us. Right now in this country, we have a retirement crisis, to tell you the truth. You go to Walmart, you see greeters there. They are not bored at home. They can't make ends meet. That's why they're there. 70-something years old, they're still working. It's because their social security is not enough. And they did save their money in buckets, where now they have to pay hefty taxes. If you have your 401k, you are 500,000 now. You pay taxes now, but if you have $1 million, when you retire, the taxes are even higher. So choose your bucket. So those are the 2 simple steps one has to do in order to invest or put their money in this wealth secret account.
Okay. So all they need to do, the important thing is people to reach out to you, because we can't cover everything on this show. The idea of us doing this is, number one, to educate, to enlighten, and to bring this to the attention of our community.
Correct.
To say, yeah, there is a way to build generational wealth and to cover yourself in case you find yourself in that crisis moment. This is not just any ordinary life insurance, because like you already said, most of us, when we hear life insurance, we're like, they want to eat my money when after I'm dead.
Correct. No, this one, you are going to eat it while you're alive. You eat your money and you leave some for your children. That's the
right.
best of this IUL insurance with living benefits.
I like that. Okay. Let's end with this question. You advocate for people to get 1099 instead of W-2. Please explain.
Correct. Yes, sir. 1099 is given to people that own businesses. So those companies that we partner with, they encourage us not only to educate people and then leave it out there. Once you educate families and friends, you are paid a commission. It may not be as much as real estate agents or other agents, because we're educators, we are not insurance brokers.
Yes.
But they pay you a little bit just for your effort to teach others. And therefore, they will give you a 1099 at the end of the year.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is you can also have business with these companies and get paid, and therefore reduce the amount of time that you can have. You can have more family time. Most of us don't have that. In the morning, the husband is leaving, the wife was working at night. You only meet even in the car park when you're exchanging children. It has happened.
Yeah.
Most of us have been there. Our children have games. The dad is rushing to go to game night. He's dozing off while watching games. But if you join us in this crusade, you have a little bit of money so that you can have some time with your family. So 1099, it's very, very important because it also gives you some tax write-off. Tax write-off with your businesses. Your business expenses are not taxed. As long as you have, a tax man, you submit all your expenses, you find that whatever you've made on the side, because you're a 1099 holder, you own your own business, you don't pay much taxes like a W-2.
Okay.
So that is the difference between a W-2 and a 1099.
Okay. So you advocate for people to understand these things and make sure they do the proper consultation on how it works.
Correct. Correct.
All right, everybody. We have been talking to Miss Joyce Chibwe. She's a licensed financial professional. That's a number there. Please get in touch. This applies. This information is good. Even if you are out there outside the United States, you can still find out what goes on in the part of the world that you live, Europe, Australia. I don't know what's available in Zambia. Those of us in the United States, get in touch with Miss Joyce. That's our number there. Please, let's not find ourselves in the... We can avoid all these things that we are going through. We can avoid them. My sister, any final word before we go?
Yes, I would just emphasize, like you've already said, please get in touch with me. That number that is on the screen. If you want more clarification on what I've, highlighted, I have the details. Let's get together. There's no one size fits all. Let's get together. Let's do this. Let's go out there in our communities and families. Let's educate one another. This is not right. The picture that is painted out there of the GoFundMe, of working so hard, looking cool but broke, is not right. Let's change the narrative. This is our time. This is our moment. We came to this country to look for greener pastures. And yes, they are there. You just have to search for them. Let's help each other. We have a tendency of saying, oh, no, we can't help that one. We can't do this. No. This is the time we should unite. Let's share information. There could be someone there who has even a better information than this. Let's share so that we can educate our communities. We are going to celebrate as Zambians 60th anniversary of our independence. We need to develop our mindset.
That's right.
We need to change the way we think. 90% of everything that we do, it's all up here in our minds. It's only 10% or so that is like skill. The rest is our mindset. Let's change the way we look at things. Brothers and sisters, get in contact with me. Let's do this. And yes, we can do it.
Yes, we can. Thank you so much, Miss Joyce. And everyone, please do get in touch with her on that number that we shared. Just a quick reminder here, on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, July, I believe the 3rd, I have a special feature for you, a conversation. I had a conversation. We're going to do a conversation with Leah about family life in the diaspora. Just like we've been talking to Ms. Joyce about building generational wealth whilst we're living in the diaspora. Join me on Wednesday for a special feature, a conversation with Leah on family life. We'll see you Wednesday, and then on Saturday we have a usual programming. Have a nice weekend.
Are you ready for the third annual Gala Dinner? The Association of Zambians in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia will this year host the third annual Gala Dinner on August 24th, 2024. There will be lots of exciting entertainment, and we're expecting high-profile special guests. Be sure to stay glued to AZDMV Facebook page for more information. Save the date.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.